I've figured out how to be effective in my day. And that's, if I could teach things to entrepreneurs, I mean, that's kind of the most important thing. It's not about to-do lists. It's not about goals. It's about a goal, one thing. You can't be pulled in different directions. And when you work day in and day out only towards one thing, not 3 things, not 4 things, one thing, how fast you move towards that one goal, I mean, you'll go light years when you're day in and day out, because it's like inch by inch, but you go times, 3 years, 4 years, you're moving towards that thing fast. Instead of half inch today towards this goal, half inch towards another goal. Tomorrow I didn't do shit because I wasn't effective. I was working on my to-do list, which is really bullshit, and then what happens is, you're not really being effective at anything. So, and that's what it takes to get off that hamster wheel and really start moving towards what you need to move towards, whatever it is. And it could be, it's not always financial. I mean, it could be, building something. It could be giving back in a certain way. Whatever your goals are, that's the way you need to look at it. It needs to be a singular goal, and you need to work at being effective towards that goal, not at being productive. Productivity is for staff, other people. You try to outsource as much as you can. Your time should be spent being effective.
I mean, that's a perfect example. I mean, even just being here, this is something that only I can do. It's like a core competency. Only I can do this interview with you, but we have staff back at the office who are like doing tasks that I don't need to be doing right now.
Absolutely. We were talking earlier. I asked you, I'm like, do you do the editing? You're like, no, I have to do the editing. I have someone else that does that.
Yeah, because that's not effective.
Right. It's not effective use of your time.
It sounds like one of your biggest core skill sets is the ability to say no. Like,
absolutely.
No.
Yeah.
Dude, isn't that something? I feel like that's something that in the beginning, especially a beginning entrepreneur, might struggle with, because they want to have their hands in things. They want to help. They want to be.
When I started, I said yes to everything.
So,
and let me be honest with you, because opportunities aren't coming your way.
Yeah. Right.
You have to make your own opportunities. So when you're starting, you have to create, and this is where people, I feel like, can't make the transition, because the type of person you need to be at the beginning of your journey is the opposite of the kind of person you need to turn into to maintain and grow.
What do you mean?
Okay, so when you're starting, I mean, no one wrote me a check for $1 million. Right. I started with $90, bro.
Right.
Selling Pile 6x9 speakers.
Yeah.
And then when I started my business, I got sued by a bunch of manufacturers, JL Audio, whatever. They're like, you're not an authorized dealer. They tried to put me out of business. So I mean, through like battle after battle, I ended up becoming authorized. I ended up becoming actually one of the largest Sony distributors on the West Coast. But it was battle after battle that I went through, and I kept saying yes to every opportunity. I, literally like everything from guerrilla marketing to guerrilla business tactics to grow the business. And so you're essentially trying to capitalize on every opportunity, no matter how little or how large. It doesn't matter, because you're just clawing. And at some point, you look back and you're like, okay, now I've climbed the tree a little bit. If I keep acting this way, it's actually going to keep me down. It's going to keep me from growing.
Yeah.
So now, and all of a sudden, as soon as you get a little bit of movement, everybody wants your time, and now you have to say no. So a lot of time when people say, oh, like, wealthy people are assholes, they're not assholes. They've just learned how to be productive with their time. So they have to say no. So you go from being a yes man to get to that point to all of a sudden you have to learn how to say no.